Let's say the students in my course need to learn to safely remove their gloves after leaving our lab. I've created some annotated images for them that they can refer to, and my hope is to present these images in a sequential order so that they properly understand the correct procedure. But how can I do that? This is a perfect example of where the image slider activity can be helpful. Back in our course content bank, I'm of course going to click the Add menu and then scroll down until I see Image Slider. Just for personal preference, I'll be entering full screen to edit this activity. Sticking with our rule of only paying attention to the asterisks, I'll need to provide a title for the activity, a title for each slide, and of course, my image. Image Slider is considered to be accessible for all learners, and one way it enforces that accessibility is by requiring alternative text for every image that you create. The only way to bypass this option is to check the Decorative Only button, though if you're using the Image Slider activity, it's very likely that each image is essential and not decorative. After I've added the title for my activity, as well as the title for the first image I'll be adding, I'll need to add the image itself. Just like every other activity you've created in H5P so far, you'll do that by finding Image and clicking the Add button. On your computer, navigate to the folder where those images are located and select the first one. Though I've manually added text to each of my images, that doesn't make this image accessible. So what I'll do to make this activity accessible is take this text here and add that as the alternative text for my image. This way, even if I have a student who cannot see well or see at all, they'll still receive the proper instructions for removing their gloves. To add a new image to your image slider, simply scroll down, click Add Item, and repeat the exact same process. As a tip, if you find that you're scrolling too much to manage images on this page, you can click the title of the image to collapse it. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit after I add the remaining slides for this. And I've now added all of the slides for my image slider activity. Since I entered full screen mode earlier, I can either click the Exit Full Screen button or proceed to save to exit. And all I need to do now is scroll to the bottom of the page and click Save. This loads a preview of my activity. As we mentioned in other parts of the course, image and video-based activity types in H5P will try and use as much width as possible on the page. There is not currently a way to control the width. So if you need this activity to be slightly smaller, consider adding it to an H5P column or an As You Learn resource like the book or page. When viewing your activity in full screen mode, you can navigate with your mouse or your keyboard or by clicking the dots at the bottom of the screen. If a student is viewing this activity using a screen reader, the screen reader will read the alternative text to them instead. But as you can see, Image Slider is a simple way to upload several interrelated images to explain a process, procedure, or timeline of events for your students.